So, hi guys, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. So, I am back. I know I've been away for a while, but I am back. And today, I would like to start off by asking a question. What comes to your mind every time you hear about bipolar disorder? Not many of us might be able to answer that because there are so many misconceptions that are out there and so many myths that people have. Everyone has their own explanation around that, and I'm here to just highlight what I know or what I believe to be true, and maybe it will help one person or a few people out there. So, welcome, sit down, and let's learn. And still, as we learn, if you have something you have to add, just comment below or just ask any question that you might have regarding bipolar disorder. So, uh, for myself, when I hear the word bipolar, what comes to my mind is the beyond mood swings. Yeah. Bipolar is associated with mood swings because it's just to clarify what bipolar really is. Just give me a minute. So, bipolar bipolar is a mental health condition that causes extreme changes in mood, energy, activity levels, and concentration. These mood changes go beyond normal ups and downs. A person with bipolar disorder may experience uh, two different things. One of them being manic episodes. These are unusual, elated mood or high energy. And the other thing that they may experience is depressive episode. This is sadness, and I mean extreme sadness, hopelessness, or even low energy. Or sometimes they might be a mix of the two. Yeah, both the mania and the depression at the same time. For example, a person may feel on top of the world for a week, like talking fast, spending money recklessly, sleeping only 2 hours, then suddenly, or just from nowhere, feel deeply sad, hopelessness, unable to get out of bed, and even lose interest in life. This pattern is more than mood swings. It may be bipolar disorder. There are different types of bipolar disorder, one of them being bipolar 1 disorder. This is what we call manic episode. Defined as manic episode lasting at least 7 days or even several severe enough to require hospitalization. And on top of that, sometimes depressive episodes often occur too. I'll give an example. Someone becomes extremely energetic. They start unrealistic projects, believes they are invisible, spends all savings, then later crash into depression. That is what we're talking about. We are referring to as bipolar 1 disorder. The other type of bipolar disorder is bipolar 2 disorder, and this includes hypomania. This is less severe than mania, but it's major depression. The depressive episodes are often longer and more disabling. For example, a person may be unusually productive and energetic for several days, then spend weeks in severe depression. And on to our last type of bipolar disorder is cyclothymic disorder. This is a long-term mood instability with mild highs and lows, but symptoms don't meet full criteria for mania or major depression. Let's focus on how bipolar disorder presents itself, and I will explain how it shows in the uh, yeah in the three types of bipolar. And the first one, we have already discussed, its mania. And during mania, a person may talk excessively, they may sleep very little, they may have racing thoughts, or they may even feel overly confident, may take risky actions, and may even become irritable or aggressive. I'll give an example of that. Someone suddenly decides to quit their job, starts a business without planning, spends huge amounts, and believes failure is impossible. The other type is during depression. A person may feel hopeless, they may lose energy, they may sleep too much or too little, they withdraw from others, they may lose appetite or overeat, and on the extreme, they may have suicidal thoughts. For example, someone stops bathing, they isolate themselves, they miss work, and feels like life has no meaning at all. The third one is mixed episodes. The person feels restless but hopeless, energetic but suicidal, agitated and depressed. They can be particularly dangerous. Yeah. So, how does bipolar disorder affect the person? This is the impact of bipolar disorder. One thing bipolar affects is emotions. The person may feel like they have no control over their moods. For example, today they feel unstoppable, tomorrow they feel worthless. This emotional instability can be frightening to them. Another thing bipolar affects is the relationships. Mood episodes can strain relationships. During mania, the person may become irritable, impulsive, or argumentative. Argumentative, yeah. And during depression, they may withdraw, they may seem distant, or even stop communicating. For example, a manic person may make hurtful decisions impulsively, damaging trust. Bipolar may also affect work and school. Episodes interfere with performance. During mania, the person may overcommit and make careless mistakes. During depression, they may miss deadlines, they may lack concentration, or fail to attend at all. Bipolar affects finances as well. During manic episodes, reckless spending is common. For example, someone may spend rent money on unnecessary shopping due to impulsivity. And lastly, bipolar disorder may affect physical health. How? Irregular sleep, stress, and someone might start abusing substances, which is often worse symptoms in this case. Maybe you are seated there and you're asking yourself, how does bipolar disorder affect? Bipolar disorder can affect who? Sorry about that. So maybe you're wondering, who can bipolar disorder affect? So bipolar disorder can affect men and women. It can also affect teenagers and adults. And lastly, it can affect people of all races and backgrounds. We are simply saying that bipolar disorder can affect everyone. It often begins in late adolescence or early adulthood, but symptoms can start earlier than that, yeah. And there are risk factors associated with that. These being family history, high stress, trauma, substance use, and sleep disturbance. Also, it is very important to note that it is not caused by weakness or bad character. Yeah. So let's shift off to the myths. There are so many myths out there in association with bipolar disorders. So we are focusing on the myths and the facts about bipolar disorder. One myth is that bipolar disorder is just mood swings. The fact is, it involves serious mood episodes that affect functioning. Mood swings are normal. Bipolar episodes are intense and disruptive. Sorry guys about the people on the background. The second myth is that people with bipolar are violent. But the fact is, most people with bipolar disorder are not violent. They are more likely to struggle with stigma than to harm others. The third myth is that people with bipolar can just control it. No. The fact is, bipolar disorder is a medical condition requiring treatment. Sorry. You cannot snap out of it. The fourth myth is that medication changes who you are, but the fact is, treatment helps stabilize moods so the person can function better. And the fifth and the last myth is people with bipolar can't live normal lives, but the fact is, with treatment, many people live successful lives, and an example of them who are public figures are like Demi Lovato and Catherine Zeta-Jones, who have openly discussed living with bipolar disorder, and they are doing very well for themselves. So someone with bipolar can live a normal life as long as they are going through treatment and they are taking care of themselves. That is the most important thing. What are the causes of bipolar disorder? The exact cause is not known here, but contributing factors include genetics. You can have it from your family, from your lineage. Yeah? If your grandparents or your parents had it, you are at a high risk of getting the same thing. Yeah. Another thing is brain chemistry differences, trauma, stress, and substance use. Think of it as a combination of biology and life stressors. Yeah. So let's focus on the treatment and support. Bipolar disorder is manageable. But how is it manageable? It is only manageable by a number of things. One of them being medication. Mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, antidepressants, but carefully monitored. Be very, very keen. I'm talking about medication, which is mood stabilizers, antipsychotics, antidepressants, but underline that, carefully monitored. You have to be very careful, yeah. The other way you can treat or support someone who is struggling with bipolar is through therapy. Yeah, examples being through psychoeducation, cognitive behavioral therapy, and even family therapy. Another way you can treat or help someone is through lifestyle management. Things like regular sleep, stress reduction, and also avoiding alcohol, drugs, or any substance use. And lastly, the way you can help someone is through routine. A person who takes medication attends therapy, and maintains sleep routines will stay stable much longer than someone who is not taking care of themselves completely. How can you support someone with bipolar disorder? One of the things that you can do is listen to the person without judging them. Another thing is encouraging treatment if they are not aware of it. Also, you can learn warning signs. When you learn warning signs, you know when to come in and help the person. Also, avoid arguing during mania. And lastly, be patient. Instead of saying you are overreacting to someone who is struggling with bipolar disorder, it's important to just say, I notice you are struggling. How can I support you? That might help a lot. But when it feels like you are judging them or you are attacking them, it becomes even worse. So you have to be very careful in how you address someone who is struggling with bipolar disorder, because we can say that they can be able to control what is really happening to them. So you have to be very, very, very careful in how you address them. There is stigma and compassion. Let's focus on stigma and compassion. So, in the world that we are living today, many people with bipolar disorder suffer not only from symptoms but from misunderstanding and stigma. They may be labeled as crazy, unpredictable, or in worst scenario cases, seeking. People may say that they are just seeking attention, and these stigma delays help seeking. Yeah. Um, People with bipolar disorder are not their illness. That is very important to note. People with bipolar disorder are not their illness. They are human beings deserving dignity, treatment, and compassion. Okay? And last but not least, bipolar disorder is real, serious, and treatable. Understanding it reduces stigma and helps people get support. I will finish off my small presentation with a question. Please answer below. You can comment, and if there is something that I've missed out, you can just note it down for others to see. So my question is, how can we create a safer environment for people living with bipolar disorder? Share with me your ideas, and I will really appreciate that. Thank you, and see you soon. Bye bye.